June 6th. We had the option to tour the city in UAZs, which are Russian vehicles similar to Jeeps and are commonly used for off-road and utility purposes in many Asian countries. 7 of us joined and we split into 2 Jeeps. Wyatt with Sherry and me, Janice and Victor rode with Carol and Donna. Our guide was Tommy. I don't know the name of the guide for the other group. One of our first stops was at Café Zhang. Nguyen Van Zhang worked as a chef in a French 5-star hotel during World War II. But when the French were forced to leave in 1945 by Japanese invaders, milk, which had been imported by the French, was no longer available. But the Vietnamese people had grown fond of cappuccino. Zhang experimented with substitutes and finally came up with a recipe calling for whipping up a mixture of raw egg yolks and sweetened condensed milk, which was available, and then pouring the whipped mixture into a steaming cup of strong Vietnamese coffee, which cooked the egg. The result was a rich, almost custardy drink that became an instant success. Zhang quit his job in the hotel and opened his own cafe, specializing in his egg coffee. The cafe is still in business, run by his grandson, I think. Everyone in our group, except me, ordered a cup. Having been turned into a tea drinker by Vietnamese coffee, I ordered hot chocolate, prepared the same way.
Your chocolate looks fun.
That looks interesting too.
Thank you.
Okay, so you can see that they put the cup into a hot water. It is a way to keep the cup warm and also a way to cook the egg from the outside. And when we make the egg coffee, we put the egg topping inside first, and then we pour the hot coffee inside. When we pour it, the hot coffee will also cook the egg from the inside. So the egg is raw, but when we make it, we already cook it. Yeah, from both outside and inside. So you will try it by using your spoon. You use the spoon over here. You try the top first. Try the top first.
I did try Sherry's and found both the coffee and the chocolate to be excellent.
And the egg chocolate was excellent.
Excellent.
That's very punny.
Very funny.
We walked past a city park where a sepak takraw game was in progress. Kick volleyball is a Southeast Asian game blending the moves of soccer with a volleyball net.
Each people can touch twice. Each people can touch twice. All part of their body except the arm.
Except the arm.
And this is one of the 2 very famous sports for a small group of people. Yeah. The second one will be badminton. And for a big group, we also really enjoy. Yeah, for big group, we also very enjoy playing football, soccer. Yeah, we also really enjoy doing that. Yes. This one is like top level of doing sport. You know that I'm always very worse with this.
The tour then took us to a residential section of town, a series of maze-like alleyways with tiny apartments with communal kitchen areas and toilets. We went into the one-room apartment of a wonderful elderly lady who kept us laughing with her happy-go-lucky attitude about everything.
She have 2 children, 6 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren. That is the reason why she chose to move out.
She said, how did you get to know her?
Actually, we get to know her from we get to know her by a day when me and some of our bosses. Không cần đâu, không cần đâu. When me and some of our bosses were actually visiting around this area for making a program for our tour, and we found her as a person who lived here by herself. A very humble person, and also work really hard. Yeah, she was in her 85 years old, but she always smiling, always happy, and always welcoming us to be here. So at first we were actually just want to ask her to cook something for us for the Lunar New Year. So we can have something to celebrate with our families. But then we also asked her that what if we have some travelers from around the world that paying interesting about the life of people in Hanoi. Is that okay if she welcome people? She said okay, she will be really happy with that. So that's how we make her. So that's how we make her as a person to welcome you today. Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
There we go. Okay. All right, Janice. Okay.
You have any other question for her?
So the kitchen is outside.
The kitchen is outside. That's right.
Every place is outside.
Every place outside. Bye bạn. Thế là cái bếp với cả cái nhà vệ sinh ngoài kia mình vào dùng.
Tất cả cái rẫy của tập thể ngày xưa bây giờ người ta cá nhân hết rồi. Người ta không dùng mà dùng một mình.
Người ta không dùng thì người ta cứ kệ thôi đúng không? Actually, everybody everybody who lives in this area, they all have permission to use those restroom and the common kitchen outside. But after
She was especially intrigued with Carol's hair and asked if it was real and had to run her fingers through it.
they just leave the common part for her. Yes, and right now that became her own spot. And it's really a good thing because, am I right?
Yes. What did she do for
What does she do for a living? For a living. Bây giờ thì bà có lương không ạ? Không có lương. Không có lương thế ở đây thì tiền nhà các thứ thì
Các cháu khách đây
các cháu hỗ trợ.
cháu
Cháu hỗ trợ. Ôi
đây
trời ơi, cháu hỗ trợ
không
cái
phải đây
gì?
à?
Hỗ trợ đây thì ăn thua gì? Thế nếu bình thường không có khách.
Đã lại lấy một cục hết rồi.
So back in the past, she used to be a worker, but there was an accident happens, so she cannot do the job anymore. But the company and the government already gave her an amount of money, but she already spent it long time ago. So right now to pay for the fee of the land over here of the house, her children will pay $300 every month for her. Yeah, she spent half of it to pay for the rent fee, and also the other half she paid for cooking, food, everything else like that. She also received $20 every month from the government. Yeah, as a small pension for a small supply for the senior people in the residential area. So that is most of the income that she have right now. And also for our business, when we come here, we also try to support her by also giving her a small amount of money for her to buy something for herself, for maybe for food or something for her living. That's how it is. Yeah.
There's a certificate there, and there's a family over here. Is there a story?
Certificate here and the family over there. You mean about the history?
Oh, what are they?
About the story.
What's that for?
Well, this one is from the government for the seniors. For the seniors. For everyone who live, it's like everyone who is. Cái này là ai cũng được hả bạn? Hay là phải ngoài bao nhiêu?
Đến tuổi
Cái tuổi đấy là bao nhiêu hả?
tuổi 85 thì mới được.
85 là được cái này. This one is a certificate for everyone who reached 85 years old from the government. Còn kia là ảnh gia đình.
Đấy là cái ôm là cái này về là cái kia là ở nhà làm mấy mâm cơm con cháu. Vẫn còn thiếu 15, 17 người.
Yeah, by the time when she received this one, yes, from the government, she also have a celebration with her whole family. That is from the picture over there. The whole family, nearly the whole family, gathered together to celebrate her 85 years old. That's how it is. Family times, yeah, big celebration. That's
or does she see her grandkids, children? They come very often.
Do they come there very often? Thế một tuần thì bà gặp các cháu với cả các anh chị bao nhiêu lần?
Bây giờ là nghỉ hè là 2 tháng chắc ở đây chung luôn.
Vâng, là ngày
Hôm nay là về học thêm.
Thì mới là thoát một tí đúng không?
Thoát mỗi thế thôi. Còn thứ bảy chủ nhật thì ông bà nó nghỉ thì có người ở nhà thì nó ở bên ấy.
So actually, usually, she have her two small great grandchildren will be here with her every weekend because their parents need to go to work. So in every weekend, when the kindergarten is closed, she will take when the kindergarten and the school closed, she will take care of those children. Yes. Right now it's summertime, so instead of weekend, it's every day.
Every day.
Yeah. She just told me this is the only precious time she can stay away from the two little kids. Yes, because
And she was very interested in Sherry's and my lifestyle of living in an RV, a small home on wheels, and told us she wanted to come and live with us. She told us she has family living nearby and loves visiting, but is very happy to come back to her own place without the noise and pitter-patter of little voices and feet. There's a strange custom in the old quarter of Hanoi at a place called Train Street. This is a narrow passageway lined with cafes where the train tracks pass inches from the patrons. People gather to have a drink and watch the train go by. Everyone is cautioned to stay back, but accidents do happen, and sometimes cafe tables are actually swept away by the passing train. Sometimes the police will set up barricades, but the cafe owners will escort visitors around them. A few minutes later, the train comes back the other way.
I've done that for so many years. It's a habit.
Yeah, your body's waiting for it.
It's waiting for it. Is it for it?
Right.
Just in case you missed it, here's an instant replay. Some of us, not all, attended the flag lowering ceremony at the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum.
You can't see it too well in the lights.
So another Vince group, they're building the big.
The next day, we drove the 200 miles from Hanoi to the mountainous region of Sapa, crossing the Red River 3 times and making a few stops along the way.
And they said this kind of tropical is good for this kind of vegetables. So you see that after they finish. Flooding is quite common. Last year in September, this area connected to the Red River. This is not Red River.
Ty was back with us, and one of the stops was at his cousin's cinnamon plantation.
Look, we don't want to go there because it's so steep. He is a farmer, so he can do like the mountain goat.
That's the cinnamon forest.
Okay, so folks, can you come here?
This is 1-year-old cinnamon?
That's 1 year old. They started with the seed of cinnamon, but at the moment they have only flowers. We don't see the seed. But in January, February, they will grow cinnamon seed. So when this is old enough for the new growing. So this one, they got the seed here. So if I break it, the tree will die. But you know, $1 you can buy for 20 and 30 trees like this.
Wow.
So I will pay my cousin.
So $1 buys 30 of those?
Huh?
$1
Yes.
buys 30?
Here we come to the, you can see one seed here.
Yeah.
Beginning with one seed, they're growing,
Yes.
and then they have the roots. If I do like this, it means the tree
Can we
is
see the seed too?
here. It's not very well.
I don't know if I'm looking at it.
They grow the cinnamon trees from seed. The younger trees, less than a year, need netting screens to protect them from both heavy rains and heat.
Not strong. The older cinnamon.
Some of the 1-year-old trees are then sold to other farmers.
What do they harvest to sell?
The bark,
The
isn't it?
bark of the trees.
Okay.
Now, do they kill the tree when they do that?
Kill the tree. You can see the trees here growing very crowded. But next year, he must cut this tree because it needs more space. It's like we have 10 children now. They need marriage and then to let other growing. They do the same here. So the next year he will cut this one. He opened the bark of the trees. And that's where it's the most of oil. It means the tree will die, but they accept it. But after 3 to 5 years, they keep cutting. So beginning, for example, 10 trees, for after 3 years, they get cut like 8, and then next year 6 only left, and then.
The oil is found throughout the tree, in the wood, the bark, and the leaves, and its intensity is stronger as the tree gets older. Of the baby trees he keeps, They begin harvesting at 3 years, shaving the bark, extracting the oil from about 2 of each group of 10 trees, thinning them out each year until only 1 of the group of 10 remains. A 10-year-old tree is about 15 feet tall, and the bark is then harvested by making a vertical slit. It curls as it dries and is thoroughly cleaned for American and European markets, but exported as is to China. The wood from these 10-year-old trees is fairly small in diameter and can be used for small woodworking projects such as spoons or candlestick holders. But larger diameter trees, such as a 60-foot tree growing in a cinnamon forest, can be used for making plywood. I've read of a tabletop made of cinnamon wood that still had a wonderful aroma after 50 years.
This is 3 months old. 3 months old. She's 3 months, so she's just forming. You see, it's not much,
Not there. Not much
not much
root.
roots.
Bắt đầu gọi là có tí rễ. Đấy. Có bấu hạt đây sao vậy?
Here's a seed on here.
Oh, yeah.
You see?
After touring the plantation, we sat down and enjoyed a glass of cinnamon tea made from boiling both the bark and the leaves from the tree. It was delicious. For $12, we bought a small jar of cinnamon oil and a package of cinnamon sticks. They told us it takes just a small drop of the very potent oil to make a cup of tea.
Thử nào ăn ăn được không?
You want to try this? Yeah. It's not good. They have to use a tool to clean them. That's why it looked very good. And then they dry in the sun, and then you can see the curve. It's about this, and then it's curved like that. So this a lot of oil in it, and then he can make this. So the company come and buy this to export to different countries. Yes, that's how they do on this. Sometimes you take only the stick. You can see here on the back on the teapot, they have a cinnamon stick. Here. Yeah, the leaf of the fresh tea.
So the tea is made from the leaf?
The tea from the leaf, and this from this in the pocket with the leathers. They have a cinnamon oil like this. If it one drop into this one, it will be melt. You see, I got this one last year. I bought him from one of this and put here. I forget to seal them, and it dropped. It's really strong. This one, like when you go to drinking tea, you put 2 or 3 drops in the water. It can make a good cinnamon tea.
The oil, the cinnamon oil.
Yes, cinnamon oils. They don't do it from the bark because that's its main bark. They have a lot of oil, so they will collect all the leaf. The leaf, like all the leftover from the trees. So whole trees of cinnamon, they don't throw away. So the trees of cinnamon, that's main part, the most oil, they will sell it like the piece, like this, so people know. But all the leaf and the branch, they will cut them and bring to the factories to boil them, to bury, to filter the oil like this. So tons of them, they get only few bottle of this.
So how much does a bottle of that oil cost?
Bình thường cái chai này bao nhiêu tiền? Cái này bao nhiêu tiền? So one bottle of like this is $8 and one package like this is $4. They sell it in the market.
We continued our bus ride through the beautiful mountain country along the Red River and stopped at Lao Cai, just across the river from China.
We are at the Chinese border. Right over across that bridge is China. That's going through immigration over there. That is the entrance across the border to Vietnam, and this is crossing the border to China.
That's the international border. You will have a visa.
This is a banyan tree. Do we have to take our shoes off? No.
At the Chinese border, there's a temple pagoda where people give things they believe will make their ancestors happy. We saw stacks of bottled water and stacks of whiskey. Stacks of fruit and boxes of assorted butter cookies. You can buy fake money with real money, and then take the fake money to the fire and burn it. I guess the ancestors don't know the difference and the vendor gets the real money.
Temple pagodas, after the people use the real money to buy the money from the people here. We call votive paper. Can be dollars, can be house, can be car, can be clothes, can be anything you think the ancestor, the grandparents or the cousins already passed away, he misses. So we need to ask permissions from the pagoda, from the temple. After he burned incense, after 15 minutes, the incense still burning. And I'm praying. I would like to pray for our ancestor, for my for me, like I would pray for my father, will have a better life. So I would like to send him some item like money or gold or clothes or even the house.
Or
of course, made by paper. No, but we have to use the real dollars to buy that kind of things. So after that, they burning, the dead people would receive it. So we say it's like, sometimes we say, oh, we use the temple pagodas like a bank to transfer money. Yeah. And Vietnamese people, we spend a lot of money. Not only Vietnamese, Chinese people the same.
We continued on our way and checked into the Sapa Charm Hotel. There was an optional tour. There were actually very few optional excursions on this trip that we did not take advantage of, to Phanispan Mountain, the highest peak in Indochina at a bit more than 10,000 feet. We arrived by bus at the Sapa train depot and took a short train ride to the cable car station. But for that adventure, you'll have to tune in to our next chapter. See you there.